And welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing an election prediction between Jen Psaki and Kaleigh McCenany. Obviously, Kaleigh McCenany, the former press secretary under Donald Trump, and Jen Psaki, the current press secretary under Joe Biden. This is a serious prediction. I'm going to be predicting it to the best of my ability as to who I think I would win between these two candidates, although I'm not entirely confident that either of these two women would be the nominees for their respective parties in the 2024 election, but it is an interesting video that I thought was interesting, and it was one of the recommendations by a subscriber. Anyway, before I start this video, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to send in a prediction or a recommendation, and I will, possibly consider making a video on it. And thank you guys so much. I'm so happy that we have reached 300 subscribers. We have finally reached that milestone of 300 subscribers, so there may be a special coming up eventually. I'm not entirely sure when it will be, because I do have a lot of videos coming up, but I want to thank you guys for all of those who subscribed. We have finally reached the great milestone of 300. Anyway, let's get right into our safe Democrat states. These states will start with the West Coast as usual, as well as going up the East Coast. Through all of those districts means first has actually trended more to the left over the last few election cycles. Safe Republican states. If my mouse works, my mouse always has issues for some reason in clicking these states. So let's try to get through it. Anyway, safe Republican will be the usual for Kaleigh McCenany. I think McCenany and Psaki kind of have a similar appeal within their parties. They are kind of liked by their base. McCenany and Psaki, I think, are still both pretty good at their jobs. And they both, I think, have that similar appeal within their own parties. It's not like a contrast between these two candidates. They're kind of the same person within their parties. But, prediction will still be what I think it will be. Colorado will be a likely Democrat state, as well as Virginia. And I'm also going to consider New Mexico. I think that Psaki would win it by more than 5 points, as well as Maine at large. I still think that will be won by more than 5 points, but that will count for all of the likely Democrat states. Likely Republican states will be Iowa, Ohio, and Maine's 2nd Congressional District, as well as Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, and Nebraska's 2nd. After the redistricting, one can only assume that it will trend to the right. Also, now we'll head into our lean Democrat states. I do plan to make this a quicker of election prediction videos, just to be precise. Anyway, let's get to our lean Democrat states. This first lean state will be the state of Minnesota, along with the state of New Hampshire. Minnesota is a state that has trended to the right over the last few elections. It did have a significant bounce back in 2020, with Biden winning it by over 7 points. However, Clinton only won it by 1.5%. I see it going along with Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, but at a slower rate. I still see Psaki winning it by about 3 to 4 points. New Hampshire, similar margins. McCenany will narrow it up. I still think she has a bit more popularity in that Northeast than somebody like Trump. But I still think that New Hampshire will go to Psaki. Psaki does have that Northeastern appeal as well. Anyway, let's get into our lean Republican states. This will include Texas and Florida, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. All of these states will lean to the Republicans. Florida has trended to Republican. Now the majority of party affiliates in the state, and as we saw with those trends, Miami-Dade. Same with Texas. A lot of those Hispanic trends to the Republicans. And I still think, even though it has continued to trend to the left over the modern history, I still see it going to Kaleigh McCenany by about 3 to 4 points as well, similar to the margins in New Hampshire and Minnesota. Anyway, let's get into our tilt Democrat races. Now we're entering our tilt races. There are going to be a few of them. First tilt Democrat will be the state of Michigan. I still see that tilting towards the Democrats, as well as the state of Nevada and Georgia. Those states will tilt towards Jen Psaki, and she would win them. I think that Michigan, she'd still be able to hold on to that. Remember, Joe Biden still won it by about 2.5% back in 2020. Now his agenda is very unpopular at the moment. We don't know what it will be like 3 years down the line. I still see Psaki obviously representing that agenda, how she would do in Michigan. But I think that Michigan, the state that trends the smallest, I'm not entirely sure if in this election cycle, one of the Rust Belt state falls, all of them fall. I think it could be a bit of a mirage looking at it, and it wouldn't be the full wall, the blue wall, to fall down this election. For tilt McCenany states, I see McCenany tilting Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania trending at a slower rate than Wisconsin, and then Michigan's trending at a slower rate than Pennsylvania, and Minnesota trending at a slower rate than Michigan. I think this, when you look at that Rust Belt right there, that amplifies the trends and the rates of the trends within those states, and the Democrat-Republican ratio, in my mind, at the moment in those states. And then the final state to predict is the state of Arizona, which would decide the election. I'm going to give the state of Arizona to Kaleigh McEnany. I see her winning that race in a very big victory, meaning that she would go on to become the 47th president of the United States, winning in Arizona. What you see in the state of Arizona is a lot of the former California residents migrating there and a lot of those people left California because they didn't like the direction the state was going. Obviously, a very democratic state there, and a lot of those people left, moving to states like Arizona, Texas, Florida, which increase the Republicans. They vote Republican, which is, same thing with Texas. While people are moving from California voting Republican in Texas, there's also a large immigrant influx in Texas, which is shifting in more to the left. But the people that move from California to those states are actually voting more towards the right, and I think McEnany would actually be able to tilt Arizona back to the Republicans in 2024. Anyway, let me know what you think of this prediction. Please, feel free to, if you think any of the states should be changed in the comments below, let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Stay tuned for more videos. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.